Okay, 4,100 federal workers gone. Just like that. That's not a rumor. That's not a leak. That's the Trump administration officially beginning mass layoffs across multiple government agencies, health and human services, treasury, education, housing, even homeland security. And whether you take this is draining the swamp or detonating the system, this move is big because this isn't just about budget cuts. It's about power, politics, and how government actually works or stops working. Last night, Axios reported that the Trump administration has officially begun layoffs of federal workers, what Washington calls RIFs or reductions in force. At least 4,100 employees are set to lose their jobs, and according to court filings, the first wave of notices has already gone out. 1,200 from Health and Human Services, 1,400 from the Treasury, 466 from Education, and hundreds more across Commerce, Energy, HUD, and even Homeland Security. This comes after Trump threatened to use the government shutdown to enact layoffs, and now he's falling through. In a post on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, that still somehow feels like the same old chaos, OMB Director Russell Watt confirmed the plan, and President Trump himself said at the White House, "We'll be cutting very popular Democrat programs that aren't popular with Republicans." Translation: this isn't just about saving money, it's about ideology. Here's why this story matters. For years, Trump has described the federal workforce as part of the so-called deep state, a phrase that sounds like something from a Netflix conspiracy doc, but in reality refers to regular government employees, the people who process social security checks, the analysts who monitor disease outbreaks, the engineers who keep dams and energy grids safe. These are not political appointees, these are career employees, and when you fire thousands of them, you're not just shrinking government, you're gutting its ability to function. The federal workforce is already down 200,000 this year. These layoffs add another 4,000 to that. And the method being used during a shutdown is unprecedented. Lawyers who represent federal workers have warned this could actually be illegal because during a shutdown, most agencies don't even have the funding or authority to process terminations. It's like trying to remodel your kitchen while the power is out. But according to a court filing from senior OMB advisor Stephen Billy, these RIFs are moving forward anyway. The situation involving the lapse in appropriations is fluid and rapidly evolving, he wrote. Translation: we are doing this and we'll figure out if it's legal later. Let's talk about the politics. The Trump administration argues this is about efficiency, cutting waste, draining the swamp. But critics, including Senator Patty Murray, the vice chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee, call it something else entirely. No one is making Trump and Watt hurt American workers. They just want to, she said. Meanwhile, the American Federation of Government Employees, representing about 800,000 workers, has already sued the administration, calling the layoffs political retaliation. The statement reads, "Federal workers are tired of being used as pawns for political and personal gain." And that's really the heart of the issue. Because both things can be true. Yes, the government is bloated. Yes, it can be inefficient. But firing people during a shutdown, when Congress hasn't even agreed on a budget, feels less like reform and more like punishment. Even Trump's own cabinet secretaries are reportedly wary. Economists at Evercore ISI, a Wall Street firm, warned that using the shutdown as an excuse for layoffs could create confusion and litigation. Because imagine being a federal employee right now. You're not getting paid because of the shutdown. And you just got a letter saying, by the way, your job might not exist when this ends. That's not reform, that's chaos. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. This isn't just about layoffs, it's part of a long-term strategy called Schedule F. That's Trump's plan to reclassify thousands of federal workers as political appointees, meaning they can be fired more easily and replaced with loyalists. The goal? To make sure the federal bureaucracy, the part of government that runs day-to-day operations, answers directly to the president. Critics call it authoritarian, supporters call it accountability, but either way is the same message, loyalty or longevity. Think about that. For decades, we have built a system designed to outlast any one president. Now, one president is testing how far he can bend that system to his will. Meanwhile, this is heading to court. The AFGE union has filed suit, demanding the administration rescind every layoff notice. Their argument: 1. Firing workers during a shutdown violates federal labor laws. 2. The administration didn't follow the required 30 to 60-day notice period for RIFs. 3. And crucially, they say this is politically motivated, not fiscally necessary. Now, legally, this is murky. Reduction in force notices can be issued for budget reasons, but using a shutdown, which is itself a political standoff, as the justification That's a gray area the courts have rarely tested. In fact, Axios reports that some earlier firings this year were reversed. Some agencies even asked fired workers to come back, which raises the question, if the plan keeps changing, is there ever a plan? So, what does this mean for everyday Americans? If you don't work for the government, it might sound distant, but federal workers run programs that affect all of us. Food safety inspections, veteran benefits, environmental protections, education grants, disaster relief. Layoffs in health and human services could slow medical research. Cuts in the treasury could delay tax refunds. Fewer workers in HUD could mean slower housing assistance. Every time someone says the government is too big, we forget the government is people. And when those people lose their jobs, the systems they maintain start to break down. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Trump's move will thrill his base, those who see Washington as corrupt and unaccountable. And it will terrify his opponents, who see this as a direct attack on democratic institutions. But beyond politics, it poses a deeper question about how we define government. Is it a business where you cut costs, fire inefficiencies, and move fast? Or is it an institution where stability, process, and neutrality matter more than speed? Because if you start treating governance like a company, we might get efficiency, but we'll lose continuity. And if we treat it like a battleground, we'll lose trust altogether. So yes, 4,100 people losing their job sounds like a bureaucratic story. But in reality, it's a story about who holds power in America and who gets to keep it. And in that fight, nobody's job feels safe. I'm Mazhar, and this was The Breakdown. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, are these layoffs necessary reform or political revenge? Because whatever side you're on, one thing's clear, this is just the beginning.